Hey everyone, welcome back to this series of 9 videos focused on all aspects of your study skills. Huge shout out to the team at Crash Course and Thomas Frank for creating such an amazing series so I can condense all of that amazing information to this powerful mind map so you can beat procrastination once and for all. If you're new here, my name is Hugo. I'm a doctor and a pharmacist working in New Zealand, and I'm a study coach at Study Smarter Academy. Now in this video, we're going to talk about the factors that actually drive procrastination and what you can do to maximize your chances to crush procrastination. Now we've got a lot to cover, so let's dive right into this. So the whole framework talking about procrastination, Thomas mentioned an important theory called temporal motivation theory, which is talking about our motivation to do work, or the opposite of procrastination, is actually driven by what we call expectancy times value divided by impulsiveness times delay. And we're going to go through these one by one and explain what do all these mean to you. The first step, talking about expectancy, which is something that you want to increase. I put a video game character right here with a level up thing to remind you that it's your ability to complete that task, because if you don't feel a sense or you don't actually have the ability to complete it, the more you're likely to procrastinate and have no motivation to do that task. First of all, talking about the first practical tip that we want to talk about is to break down the task. Meaning, if you were to complete this impossible research article or this writing assignment that you need to do, if you need to do 2,000 words, it's going to be daunting. But if you continue to break it down, for example, just looking at the marking scheme and then determining what you really need to do for each title, break it down into your introduction, your main body, find out how many words approximately you need in each section, and then just doing maybe 5 to 10 minutes research at a time. Now breaking this task down then becomes a less daunting process, and you have somewhat increased your ability to do it because now you have your next focus in line. This is the next step I need to do. Next, to increase your expectancy or ability to do a task is actually to try and ask for help. It can be a friend that is very capable, someone who has done it before, or even your teachers or lecturers. By reaching out and asking for help sparks more ideas in your mind, and it increases your ability and also your expectancy of doing this. And then the third bit, which I called the G.I.N mentality, meaning Google it now mentality. This is an extension of asking for help, but to the top people around the world, the top articles, the top photos, the top infographics, the top videos on YouTube, and all of this is an excellent source of trying to increase your expectancy or ability to do that task so you're more likely to do it in the end. So that's talking about expectancy. Next, we talk about value. Now I've got this treasure chest, meaning it's some sort of reward. Value meaning the reward that you get from it. So the first thing is to try and improve your task reward. Are you actually getting rewarded to do this? Because a lot of times, for example, if we're doing study, if we're doing a particular assignment, yes, maybe then you get your grades back and maybe it's good, then you get the reward. So it's very delayed. If it's a task that you really dread yourself to do it, make sure you increase that reward and maybe try to bring that reward forward, because us as humans, we're really drawn to the notion of immediate gratification. You can see our social media now, from YouTube to Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. So the time to release dopamine is getting shorter and shorter. And these social media apps are working so well because it latches on to this human instinct of us wanting immediate gratification. So you can hack it for yourself for the task that you really want to do. Next is to improve the task experience. Basically, are you able to make this task more fun? Because things like playing video games, watching your favorite Netflix show, it doesn't need extra motivation to do it because it's already fun and you enjoy doing it. Now the trick question is, how can you make these seemingly boring tasks much more enjoyable so you're more likely to do it? For example, it can be a competition with your friends who can finish it faster and the best. You can change your study location. You can play your favorite music list, although sometimes it can reduce your focus a little bit, but if it makes it that a little bit much more fun for you and you're able to do this task, then why not? So continue to try and think ways to improve your task experience. And leading on from this, Thomas also talks about this idea of low density versus high density fun. If you get distracted by your phone, even on social media, and a lot of times you walk away from social media feeling really tired and drained and actually don't feel good about yourself, there's just something iffy about it sometimes. And you constantly get 2 minutes of this, 2 minutes of that, and 5 minutes of TikTok, and your study session is now littered with these low density fun that you also feel very guilty about. But if you're able actually to collate all of this together and actually go full out, all in on this high density fun, meaning you can go all out, game for an hour, 2 hours, or watch your favorite movie, and without feeling guilty, you actually scheduled it in. This high density fun is necessary, and you can actually go shopping with your friends for an hour or go to your movies with your friends for 2 hours. And these are all ways to try and improve the reward reward for you to complete this task so you can have this good study or work-life balance. Now finished talking about the 2 factors up top that you need to increase your motivation and decrease procrastination. We now want to talk about the things that you want to try and reduce. First of all, impulsiveness. We've got our game controller there, and we've also touched a little bit about this if you followed on from the previous series talking about focus and concentration. We talk a lot about focus muscle and how these loops can either make or break you. So I'm not going to go through this again. If you want to check out my previous video on focus and concentration. So on top of that, we want to talk about 2 other things. The first is your environment distractions, basically further separating into your apps and friends. So apps meaning a lot of your social media apps or whatever you spend most of your time on getting distracted. You can actually try and replace this with apps like Forest, things that encourages you to actually try to stay away from these distraction apps, or try to use apps like Cold Turkey to try and block out all these common visited sites so you are not able to physically access them. And then next, thinking about your friends. Are your friends a source of distraction? Are they actually taking away or increasing impulsivity to actually derail you from the task that you want to do? Or are they a source of focus? Because I know, for example, when I was in a group study, I had a few friends that were very focused as well. So I feel like that I can't pull up my phone because everyone is so focused on studying. And we would even have these pomodoro sessions. For example, we'd study 45 minutes at a time, and then we'd talk for 10-15 minutes, and then we'll go back to focus study. And having that accountability for each other is great. So really, your friends also can make or break you. You really need to be choosing a good bunch if you want to be increasing your focus and also reduce procrastination. And I've also alluded to right here was your study groups. Again, if you're able to do those focused pomodoro sessions with your friends and keep each other accountable, then that's a good source of reducing your impulsivity as well. So that's finished talking about impulsiveness. The next, we want to talk about delay. Meaning, you can see here, how quickly are you going to get your reward? Is it now or is it much more later? And we've talked about how our brains are wired for immediate gratification with social media, with the chocolate that we eat, even with things like investment. We want to buy the latest and greatest, but a lot of times it is very, very hard for us to save and invest and get that financial stability in the end. And same for these tasks. In order to improve this delay in terms of trying to bring your reward forward, first of all, you can try to set some reward for even subtasks. Remember up top we talked about breaking your task down. Try to have these mini rewards if you really struggle to get through the task. And then of course, we've alluded to previously as well, is the pomodoro technique. Basically, previously based on this tomato timer, you set it to 25 minutes, and then once it goes off, you set it for another 5 minutes and you have some fun. So it shifts from being output based, meaning, okay, I need to sit down here, I need to complete my biology assignment before I go anywhere else. Now this is a very hard thing to do because it may take you 5 hours, it may take you 50 hours, you never know. And you continue to beat yourself up because you think that you haven't done anything. But if you just set that timer, now you become input based. I'm going to put in 25 minutes, I'm going to try and focus as much as I can, and I'm just going to go for it. And also, last but not the least, make sure you also experiment with this, because sometimes, for example, for myself, I find that just after 25 minutes, my focus starts to kick in. And if I stop right there and have 5 minutes break, it actually breaks my flow state. So a lot of times I extend that to 45 minutes to an hour, and then I'll have maybe 20 to 30 minutes break. That way I can continue to have this good balance, reward myself during that break time, have some high density fun we talked about, and continue this really good loop that we train our focus muscle as well, and we get into this exponentially building good study habit. And last but not the least, Thomas also talked about this theory called the Ego Depletion Theory, meaning our willpower is like a little battery. At the beginning of the day, it's fully charged. You wake up, you feel refreshed, and that really is the amount of willpower that we have. And throughout the day, it's just going to drain and drain and drain. So a suggestion or an experiment that you can do is try to put more important or harder tasks at first, and try to put those important tasks right at the beginning of the day. What Mark Twain says, eat your frogs in the morning, because you don't want to get to this nighttime and your willpower is very low, and you need to try to push through and complete that task you really dread. And that is an extra tactic that you can try to implement as well. We've done a lot of scribbling right here. I know my writing isn't that legible, so I've created a typed up version of this so you can download it, share it with your friends, even print it out if you feel that this is going to motivate you to beat procrastination. So check out the description below and share it with your friends. Otherwise, I hope this video has been helpful for you. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.